Welcome back to another episode of You Got a Friend in Me with your host, John Tran. Today's episode, we are going to talk about how to improve at your work. I don't pretend to know I know everything there is to know about work. If you have other great ideas on how to improve yourself at work, just shoot a comment down below. I'd love to have some more engagement with the audience, and the post might help someone who has just started or is struggling at work. Here are the few things that I've learned throughout my career. So before work, here is something that you can try to implement. Now, how many of us have been here? You're in bed and your alarm goes off. You're lying down and you're thinking, oh my God, not another day. Do I have to do X, Y, Z at work today? Now, I know I've been there myself and it happens all the time. But one thing you can try to do, instead of saying, oh, what do I have to do today at work? Change one word in that sentence. That's all you have to do. Change one word from what do I have to do today to what do I get to do today? Now that small change makes a huge difference. When you open your eyes and your alarm goes off in the morning, you have another day, a new day to do anything. So instead of saying, what do I have to do today? Change it to, what do I get to do today? I can come up with 100 things that I have to do that would just kind of dampen my day already. I have to do paperwork for my patients. I might get yelled at by my clients. I might get judged by my colleagues. And you've already started off the day losing before you even got out of bed. If you change it now to, what do I get to do? Some of the things that might come up may be like, I get to talk to my patient and learn something new about them, or practice my leadership skills in moments that I have found difficulty with in the past, or I can learn something from my colleagues that day. So if you change that, it goes from a more negative point of view to a more positive point of view, because there is this effect called the mere exposure effect. Hypothetically, you were looking up to buy a car, and say you were considering getting a Jeep, and then all of a sudden you walk out your door and then all you see are Jeeps. You see Jeeps everywhere, and that is because what you focus on is what you see. If you focus on the negatives, it is what you start seeing in your day-to-day lives. You can flip it around. You can use it to your advantage. If you focus on the positives in your day, then you will start seeing more positives come up. One thing you can do before work is to change that one word from what do I have to do to what do I get to do. So here are a few things that you can do at work to improve yourself in your working environment. Sometimes we do things that we don't know that we are doing. Have you ever been in a video that someone has recorded and then you're not paying attention to the camera and your face is doing something really weird? You realize that your concentration face looks like you're about to punch someone. Sometimes we don't know what we're doing with our body language and our speech and our behaviors. Sometimes our colleagues and our friends know the best. Sometimes we do things that are a detriment to our character or doesn't serve us in any way. And these things may not be so evident to us. We may not even know that we're doing it. My recommendation is to ask your colleague if they notice that you do anything that may not be serving you or may be counterintuitive to what you want to achieve. For example, I was picked up on that when I get stressed. Sometimes I can be a bit passive aggressive, but if my colleague didn't tell me, I wouldn't know, and I can't improve on this because I didn't know. So I'm very thankful that my colleague was able to tell me that I may be doing something that might be detrimental to my working relationship with my colleagues and my clients. Just to keep in mind, if you do ask your friends and your colleagues for them to provide you points of improvement, just be mindful and aware that we may take offense because we had no idea that we were doing such things. So take what they say and respect it, think about it, reflect on it, and then you can either change your behaviors or you can ask other colleagues for their advice and their opinions. Another thing you can do to improve at work is to model your behavior and actions to the people that you respect and want to be emulating at work. For example, there's a really good nurse at my workplace. I learned so much just from watching his behaviors and interaction with people. I take on all the positive things that he does and try to implement it myself into my work practice. And you can even maybe take it a step further. You can actually tell the person that they are a very positive influence on you. When I did this to this nurse, I told them that I really respect them and learn a lot from their behaviors and their lessons. They said thank you, and they did something I didn't expect. Whenever an opportunity came up to teach, he would take a second to break down and make me think critically about my behaviors and my plans of action. Now, these small moments have built my character dramatically, but they took just a handful of minutes to implement. The last suggestion that I can give to you that you can do to improve yourself at work. Now, we all have strengths and we have weaknesses. Don't beat yourself up and compare yourself to people who are seemingly doing much better than you. Sometimes I feel bad for my weaknesses and I hide from them. But if you let them know that this is your weakness and you aim to improve, they come from a place of understanding that yes, he may be a bit slow in these areas, but he is trying to improve. Those are the few things you can do before work and during work to try to improve at your work. Change that sentence in your mind from what do you have to do to what you get to do. And while you're at work, ask your colleagues and your mentors and your bosses things that they see that you do that might hinder your progress and your relationships. And also, shadow your mentors and the people you look up towards. Do the positive things that they do and implement it into your practice. Work on your weaknesses. Let your colleagues know that you are lacking in some areas, because then you'll be surprised. They will support you more often than not when they know that you're working to getting better. So that is it, my friends. Thank you so much for listening. If you do enjoy it and you want to share, send it to a close friend of yours so they can also improve themselves at work. Thanks again, Tran fam. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.